Hello everyone, in this video I will show you our new firmware update for H32BS and H32B relay controller, because this time we will support TUYA application now. So you can see this is my mobile phone. You can see here I have used the 5G, you can use the 4G or 3G. Just for internet remote control, you can see here I can click this is on. You can see this is channel 1. I can click off. So I can click all on. You can see the LED indicator changed, and this state is also update. You can see here all off, and also will be update the state. So this is for my TUYA application. So this time you can use this H32BS and H32B used by TUYA application. Also, we have make some big update for this new firmware. Okay, let's look at some details about it. This is our form. You can see we have uploaded the new firmware. That this is a new version for H32B and H32BS, and also we have uploaded the new firmware for serial B. So that all have connect with the Ethernet cable and use the TUYA application. So let's look at, for example, we can look at the H32BS. You can see this update have mainly in 4-point improvement. I have copied and pasted here. And then let's look at step by step and how it works. And the first, we have support the TUYA application for remote control the output and monitor the input state. And also you can see the second, that we can let this different protocol work at the same time. So you can see here is our Ethernet setting. You can see this is new firmware. So you can see I just can disable and enable a different protocol, and this for UDP and TCP client and TCP server and MQTT and TUYA. So this can all work at the same time. You can see I can enable, or I can disable. Before, you just can only work in one work mode. And this is the different big updates. And also you can see the 3, we have added the MQTT option. So you can see the MQTT feedback message that will be for all channels or single channels. So you can see here have an option MQTT send all. That is feedback from the MQTT message. You can see here. And this time you can see this is feedback for all many channels output. But we have added these options. I can disable it, so that the MQTT feedback will be only one channel. Later I will show you how it works. And the next, you can see that support controlled by AK keyboard. Just this time, you can use this keyboard integrate to the H32BS, or use this keyboard integrate to the H32B. So you can connect with it by S232, or you can connect with it by S485. Because if you have added this keyboard to this H32BS, so that your buttons can be defined for one click, single click, double click, or hold down for different actions by yourself. You can see here. So this is the keyboard. So you can set the single click, double click, or hold down for different buttons and different wall switch, because your wall switch is connected to this terminal. And if you have used this keyboard, so that there will have 40 input channel you can use for your sensor, such as the motion sensor, smoking sensor, gas sensor, or door sensor. So this port all can use for your dry contact sensor. So this will be very powerful for many different output and many different input. Okay, let's look at the first. We look at the TUYA application, and you can see here you need to buy this TUYA license from us, so that your mobile phone will support internet remote control. And because we have create and development the TUYA for H32B and H32BS in TUYA IoT platform. So you need to buy this license from our online store, and you can see here that is AliExpress Kinkoni official store. Only $5 US, so you can use this remote control anytime. No, not for every month, not for every year for $5 US, just always can know this user date limit. If the Tuya company is closed, that will not use. It can't be used. But unless will be always can use by this Tuya license. So if you want to buy this Tuya license, you just tell us. Check your mobile setting, and you can see here. You can check which country you have used, and according to the country name, and search the server location at here. Click this way, and you will see this table, such as this is Western American data center in so many countries, and find out your country's list in which server location. This is Central Europe data center. So Tuya have many data center called server all over the world. You need to, according to your country name, and define and choose which data center you have used. So this is very important. You need to confirm the server location according to your country name. And then you can tell us which board you are using, such as you have used H32BS, H32B, or CLB, or this A series board. You can tell us your location name and your board name to us. Then you can order from the link of the AliExpress online store. Okay, this is how to buy the Tuya license. And let's look at the details about output and input. And you can see here, you can use the Smart Life. This is Smart Life, or you can use the Tuya Smart 2 application, or can use. So you can see this have list many controllers have added to the Tuya account. This is H32BS. I can click. You can see this is for on and off, just for controlling this output. And you can see here that have an input. And you can see here is the input page. You can see I can click. That will monitor all input channel sensor state. And this is for output, and this is for input. So you can see this input 1 and until input 40. So you can see here, if I use a 1 and short, this is ground, black is ground, and this is input 1. So you can see, if I short, you can see that input is turned green, that is triggered, and I released, that is recovered. And also you can see that is 40. So you can see I can short for this, the 40, that is triggered, and I release, that is recovered. So you can see if you use Tuya application, you can monitor the input states, all these input channels. Because we can create the home automation, you can see this is scenes mode. I can click and create scenes, and you can see when the device state changed, I can click and choose the H32BS. So you can see there are many input 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can choose if the input, such as input 1 is on, so that I can do automation, that as a task. So you can run the device and send a notification or do any different actions. So that will be useful for create automation in scenes mode, so that this time you can use this input. My computer, you can see here, I can go to this controller web page. You can see, let's look at see the web state changed. And here you can see this is 1. You can see I can click off. And this you can see that state update is off, and this is by internet. This is 5G. So you can see I can click 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can see this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7, 8. You can see the state will update. I can also turn all on, and you can see that will be updated, and this is off. So this is the Tuya application for output and the input. But I want to see this Tuya mobile phone application only used by the Ethernet, not by the Wi-Fi, and not used for the voice control by Alexa and Google Home. If you want to use the Google Home and Alexa by the voice control, and you can add this TUYA adapt. So this we have introduced for last year. So you can see here, you can also use this TUYA adapt and connect with IS485 or connect with the IS232 port. And this is work with the H32BS, and this is work with the H32B. So this mainly used by the Wi-Fi, because you can see the Wi-Fi antenna, and this mainly used for the voice control by Alexa and Google Home. Okay, this is the first. I introduced you the TUYA. And the second, just enable and disable the different application protocol. So you can see in my web page, we can back and go to the network setting. And there are many different protocols. If you want to use the TCP server, so that you can use the Kbox, that application will work in local network, so that you can, without cloud server, without any server, just directly communication with the relay controller. And also you can see that is TCP client, so that you can let your H32BS connect your own server IP and the port by this TCP socket connection. And this is the UDP client. That means if you enable, that will connect with the Kinkoni cloud server used by the Kinkoni smart home application. So this have used by this UDP protocol. And that is the MQTT. So if you use the MQTT, you can connect to your cloud server, or you can connect to the Home Assistant. You can see we can integrate the controller to Home Assistant by the MQTT. So this time I have connected with my local server, and this is the IP and the port. So you can change to yourself, and this controller will connect to your cloud server by IP and the port. And this is the TUYA protocol. So if you don't want to use the TUYA, you can disable it. If you want to use it, you can enable it, and you buy from the TUYA license from us, so that we can send you this information to you. This product ID, device ID, and device secret, and this bin code, we can send to you this information to you. Just $5 US. And this will be generate the QR code. So you just use your mobile phone to scan this QR code into your application. Okay, this is the second. And the third, you can see we have added the MQTT options. Okay, I will tell you what means about this one. Now you can see I have connected with my MQTT block. So you can see I use my MQTT box test connect with my PC, because I have used this IP address. You can see this IP address I have connected in local my computer. And this is Kinkoni cloud server MQTT block. Also is free to use. And this time I have test connect with this one. So you can close. And you can see I can subscribe this state topic. You can see all this feedback. We can have a test. And you can see this relay 1. That output 1, you can see I can click, turn on, and this is feedback. You can see this is feedback, the output 1. You can see also in my controller the red LED is on, but this will feedback all channels by one command. So you can see almost the relay is 32 channel output, and the input, many input, all is feedback together. So this time we have added the options. You can see that options, if I disable it, not send all channels information, I can click save and restart. After restart, you can see this is disabled, and this time we can see this again. You can see the MQTT feedback that is become one channel. So you can see I can click turn off. You can see only feedback the relay 1 is on. On is 0, that means off. So I can click on. You can see the only feedback, this is on. I can click 2, that is feedback 2, and this is feedback 3. So this just feedback only one channel, single channel of the MQTT message. That will be useful for integrate the H32BS or H32B to home bridge, because the home bridge that need use a single feedback format. Okay, This is 0.3. And the 0.4, that is very useful. That will be supported by the case 868AK. And just I have told you that will be define different functions from the different buttons. So you can see if single click, I can turn on or turn off some channel or toggle some channel of output. And double click and hold on. So that will be very useful because use this AK, that will be locally controlling this H32BS without internet, without network. This is our new firmware update, and you can download it here. You can see this link, and hope you will work fine. Okay, thanks for watching.